So Irene, you just asked, can you see an aerial view of, basically any of the property, including lot sizes, dimensions, and what they previously sold for? So yes, absolutely. I'll just go back to that interactive map screen, which is available to you. So you can actually just draw your own physical dimensions using the interactive map, and basically, you can draw your own shape, or you can just look at the existing boundaries around any particular property. So you can see here on the interactive map function, that's what we've done. We've drawn our own boundaries as well, but the existing boundaries are there for you as well. So, that's helpful. So you can see 35 meters down that way, 15 meters across. However, the dimensions that I drew in are 17 meters, then 10 meters across, then 17 meters down. So I hope that answers your question. So Ed's just asked, does the new features tell you precisely the orientation of the property, i.e. north, south, northeast? Many people wanted to know property front faces, what direction before they invest, and if you can understand what I'm trying to say, you'd appreciate my reply. Yeah, so Ed, the top of the map is north. So yes, it does. So obviously, if you wanted to, you could switch this back to the view in this screen, so you can see which way the property faces, and up is always north, and so you'll be able to get that orientation quite easily using the map function, which is quite handy. So Irene's asked, can I see the houses with sold price flags on radius view without clicking into the individual properties? Yeah, absolutely. So that would be that mapping function where you just go and draw your own, basically a diagram, and then what it will do is it'll list them in this basically function below. So you'll have all of the properties within the shape that you drew below for you. So you do that by utilizing the map search function, which makes life quite easier, and then it will appear like this. And you can simply click on those houses and it will show the prices and take you, or you can look at the results screen, which is below. So nice and easy. So Bill's just asked about a state flyover. Look, no, I don't believe the functionality exists due to the limitations of having to run a search of that size. So you wouldn't look at an entire state's worth of data. So no. And your second question was, can I create suburb performance reports that I can export for further analysis, often called grid analysis? That's CNA to help you to focus. Oh, that can help you to focus your search on areas that meet your criteria. So Bill, what you can actually do, and give me 1 second, I'll just bring this up on screen for you, is you can utilize our tools to, give me 1 second, I'll just get to the correct screen. Okay, so it's on screen for you now. So you can use this function. So the export functionality doesn't exist. So you wouldn't really, I guess, in the exact format that you're talking about, be able to do that. No, but basically you'd be able to get this type of view of the basically the area, and just do it by results, or do that search summary view, which looks a little bit more like this, and I'll just bring that up on screen for you. 1 second. So that would be, a lot more like this view, for example, which is on screen now, where you'd be able to get the summary data at a high level, and you can simply screenshot that, right, and do exactly what I've done, and just put that into a PowerPoint, which is literally exactly what you're looking at now. So the function, I guess the data's not exportable, but you can get the data into something that you can save quite easily. Okay, so Iron's asked, can the properties show and have sold displayed on the map? It's more valuable for me to see sold prices on the area map. That shows me where the valuable pockets in the area are. So is it a function that has been included? So with, I guess, regard to the specifics of what you're talking about, yeah, absolutely. You just use that area map function, which we displayed a couple of slides earlier. where you just basically select your area that you would like to target. And then you can use the map tools function as well to do that. And basically just include, whichever you would like to see. So give me 1 second, I'll just bring that up on screen for you. So you can see the last sale here. So what that will do is if you clicked on that, it would just display the actual last sale value, which will allow you just to zoom over any suburb and just scroll through it and look for the pockets that you're referring to, Irene. So yes, it is included. So Rad's just asked, can you do macro research on suburbs such as multi-industry, average income? So the average income was displayed in the demographic information. The growing yield information, again, was displayed in the information that we went through tonight. And house prices, etc., to find suburbs that are growing. Yep. So again, all of that information was in the slides that we went through tonight. So to, I guess, bring it back up on screen for you, you have the increases that you can do directly from your property report function as well, or you can do the suburb flyover as well. So give me 2 seconds, I'll just grab that slide for you. So that was this slide here. So you can do that straight out of My Value report, which will show you, which way the actual prices are trending, broken up by houses and units, and also obviously which way rental prices are trending as well. So you could also see suburb rental yields, which way they're trending, and in terms of the bedroom breakdown. So all of that detail and functionality is there. So Peter's just asked, what is the contours in the map tool? So basically contours is just to show any changes in elevations, basically across the suburb. So it's helpful for understanding, whether or not in a particular area is sloping. So what it will do is it will display, and I'll just bring that back up on screen for you. So it'll display meterage, which will be an elevation. So if you've ever seen the guys standing out there with those, stands that have a little camera on top, and they're taking obviously the elevation changes as well. So this is the data that they capture, right? Like it's just to show, in which I guess angle is the landscaping and moving around. So you could just simply click on that to add that or remove it. So Farzan has asked, will this be available as an app? Look, not currently. The mindset is that we will have all of our platform available to use in an app format. We don't currently have it. It's not something that you would be able to access now, but yes, the long-term plan would be to have that available for you. So Tiana's just asked, is there a way to distinguish between duplexes or semi-detached houses? Good question. I don't actually know, to be quite honest. I don't think so, apart from having a look from an aerial view. And then trying to ascertain that, or what it was actually sold as in terms of what was actually on the property report. So you might have to go in and look at it on an individual basis by typing in the address directly, and then obviously having a look at the individual property report, which will show you I guess some high level, or sorry, low level detail like that. So to access that, what you could do is you could put in to your, and I'll just bring it up on screen for you, Tiana, one moment. So on this function here, if you just went to generate a report and put in the address that you want to look at, then you would have the property type and just whether it's house, duplex, or semi-detached. So you can get that, but it would be on an individual property basis. There would be, you could pull results on the area, which will display it in a results view. So I'll just show you what that looks like. So just going back down to, won't be 2 seconds, sorry, to this slide here. So you'd have to basically go into each of these, or just right click and open a new tab, and then you'll be able to get that data that we're just looking at out of it that way. So Stoyan's asked, is it all over Australia and NZ? For Australia, yes, this functionality exists. For New Zealand, we use RP data in the New Zealand market just for reference. So Gary's asked, does the data show information for non-residential properties? So if you're talking about industrial, no. If you're talking about commercial, yes, it will display some data. How useful that data is to you and whether it basically makes sense is going to be another story. So you'd be able to pull some of the data out, but obviously this is built as a residential platform. So while you could use it for sales price data, for example, some of the rental data might look skewed because you might have, some agents displaying it on a weekly, some agents displaying it on a monthly, some agents displaying it on an annual basis, which makes it look a little bit messy. So look, it's residential focused 100%. You may be able to get some commercial data, and I wouldn't rely on it for industrial data. That's just my personal opinion. Okay, Irene just asked about the sold flags. I believe I already addressed that in my previous conversation about clicking on the little houses, so I'll tick that one off. So Armando said, that's great functionality, digging deeper into a property and suburb. How do we generate an overview of the market to find out the opportunities? For example, how do you generate a grid variance? So again, that would be that function, looking on a map and then just looking at the last sale prices, but then you would obviously have to overlay that with what properties are available in the pockets that you're actually referring to. So it would be, very much a, two-step process. So to bring that back up on map for you, I'll just quickly go back to the screen. So you'd use your interactive map function, which looks like this. You can add in last sale, check for the pockets of properties which are selling for greater rates, or the surrounding areas. So it's not exactly a grid variance, but generally speaking, this would be the way that I would do it. And then obviously look for available properties within the pockets that you're looking for. So the functionality is there on the interactive map to do that. So you can actually drop in the sale as well versus sold, but that will take away all the sale data. So you'll need to look at the for sale information as well. So just be aware that that function all exists within the interactive tools and map layers that you can use. So Ileana has asked, when you select a selection on the map and their properties for sale show up, does the sale price pop up as well? I believe I've already answered that. So the interactive map works exactly the same as the map search function. So the map search would be where you're drawing your own shape on the map. And then you can simply just click on the houses that come up in that area and it will show you their sale prices. Yeah, Rad, he's basically said, I want to know which suburbs to focus on rather than scrolling through suburbs, comparing figures. Rad, I mean, the purpose of these tools is to do exactly that, to investigate the suburbs. So, if you're looking for suburbs to focus on, you might use some of our other reporting functionality. Tonight's webinar was more basically to show you the new My Value and My Research tools, which as the name implies, to value and research as opposed to basically looking at a high level and go, okay, I'm going to go look at that. And also depends on what you're wanting to look for, right? So some of this functionality can be really handy, again, depending on what type of strategy you're following. So I appreciate what you're saying, Rad, but tonight was more just to demonstrate what the tools can do, as opposed to, getting so micro, I guess, in terms of what you're actually referring to, and going that far with it. So Siddharth has asked, how do you find the relevant council to find out about different zoning? So that's actually really easy. So through your property report function, what you can do is simply just pull up the My Value report on it, which we showed you earlier. So I'll just bring it up on map for you. So you can simply just generate a report on whatever area you're looking at, and then it will tell you the council. So you can see Gold Coast City Council. So then you just need to go to their homepage and look at all the different zoning codes for that particular area. And obviously some councils have map overlay functions on their site as well. So there's plenty of free resources out there that you can use external to our site to determine what the zoning requirements are. And generally speaking, I would always visit the council websites and or a town planner. So Glenn's asked about, glossary of terms, so that you can ascertain the difference between private rental versus rental, or unimproved value versus site value, and so on. Glenn, no, not specifically. There is a little help icon, which I can't actually show you because I don't have a screenshot of it, but there's a little question mark in the bottom right-hand corner of the screen, and you can just simply click on that and ask any questions, and then obviously you'll get a response that way. So no, not specifically, but that's how you would get the response that you require. So James just asked, can we search properties for sale for a defined suburb by keywords from here as well? Personally, I wouldn't use this to look for properties. I would use Investor search, much better option. So yeah, this would be more about valuing and researching as opposed to searching for properties. So Kevin's asked, is there an option for searching for properties by dwelling size or livable area? Not by livable area, but yes, by dwelling size. So you can obviously just use the filter function to do that, and you can just type that in there and then run the search. So quite easy. So Tiana's asked, when looking at comparable properties, is it possible to choose your own data sort, i.e., lowest to highest and land size? Yep, so absolutely there is. I'll just show you that. I'll bring it up on screen for you in 1 second. So yeah, you've just got that that functionality up here, so you can update results, and that will give you a sort by function as well, which is nice and easy. So I hope that answers your question. So Philip's just asked about heat maps. Again, no, not specifically. So no, that functionality doesn't exist. Yeah, so Amando's just asked, I want to know if there's an opportunity in a number of suburbs. Once I found out that there is an opportunity in a particular suburb, then I can dig deeper. Again, that's where you'd be using Investor Search, and where you should be using Investor Search to target those opportunities, then coming in here and doing your research. So if that's not how you're doing it like currently, then that's what you should be doing. Investor Search is the function obviously built to look for property opportunities, whereas this is just done to do your research, after you found them. So David's just asked, are there any options to generate report PDFs similar to the old My Valuer? Yeah, absolutely. So that's exactly what this version of My Valuer does. So when you actually type in any specific address, what you'll actually get is generate report, which will create that actually automatically generates a PDF, and then it'll start downloading for you. So Tiana's asked, how have you put data into PowerPoint since it's not exportable? Screenshots? Yeah, literally exactly what I did. So you can just use a snipping tool, or whatever have you, to just grab the core data, which means you can draw on the screen, which I've done, as you can see, with the arrows and whatnot, which is obviously going to help with people finding and navigating, as opposed to doing a live demonstration where you may not be able to see where I was clicking because the mouse point is quite small. So I kind of always stick to doing slides for that exact reason, where you can just put big indicators. So yeah, if that answers your question, Tiana. So Stoyan's just asked if you can use My Valuer for other countries. No, that's for Australia only. So Gary's asked about how current is the easement information being mapped. I think it's quite current. If you're ever not sure, just bring up Dial Before You Dig. It's a free resource which you can utilize anyway, and I would recommend, if you're needing easement information, that utilize that tool as well. So this will just identify if there's an easement that's there. It won't tell you anything more than the fact that the one exists. I would always use dial before you dig if you need further detail, and then obviously if you need to acquire any further information specifically about the easements, it'll give you the option to do it through their website. So dial before you dig, really handy free resource for that function, Gary. So Melinda's asked just, can you compare just two non-joining streets in a suburb? So yes, you could do individual street searches, and then basically, hopefully I've got a screenshot of it. Just give me 1 second and I will look for it. So in the same way that you can do a suburb level search, you can actually just do a search specifically on a street, which is quite helpful. And then you'd have to do it. So I'll just show you here. Okay, so on screen now, Melinda, you should be able to see, so you've got all these research tools. So we did a radius search before, but you can just look at sales just on a street. So that will just prompt you to obviously put in a street address, and then you'd have to look at two different streets though. So the only thing is you wouldn't be able to do them side by side. You'd have to run it in two separate searches and just compare the data. So either again screenshotting it and then just putting it somewhere so you can compare them side by side, or alternatively doing it another way. Okay, so Ian's just asked, I got held up at work, so may have missed a few things. Are there any details re local council rates? No, not specifically on the rates. I would always just give an agent a call in the area that's selling a property and just get them to ascertain that, or the council would be the other people that you could call for that information. So Peter's just asked about the export function. So no, you can't export this data into CSV. That functionality doesn't exist. Gary, no, all owners' details are not available in all states. So Derek, good to see you. To access these functions, just go to My Value and My Research. So all you need to do is just literally click on the My Value and My Research function. So all we've done is we've changed the tab now. So instead of it saying My Value and My Research separately, it now looks like this. And I'll just put it on the screen for you, Derek, so you can see. So it just looks like this. So it used to look like this, where they were separated. And all this new functionality is available directly through My Value and My Research right there. So nice and easy. So Rad's a tough question, but does demographic info rely on census data? And are there any concerns about the current census debacle and the quality of info from this census? Rad, as an honest answer, I'm with you. I'm not skeptical about the data. I think the volume of data is critical, and if the volume of data is there, then we can rely on the majority, because the majority of people will just do it because they've been told to do it, right? That's how it generally works. Yes, there's issues right now with the quality of data due to the fact that there's not the volume. So basically, once that's completed properly, and once we know how many people actually completed it, that would obviously influence my answer to this question one way or the other. So yeah, I agree. The issue is that we need to make sure that that data is reliable, but that will come with volume. So once the volume's there, then I wouldn't have any issue personally relying on most of the data that's in there. So Glennis, if you're having some issue with that, my apologies. I'm not entirely sure why that is. If you just shoot a quick email through to here, and I'll just send it to you privately. If you just send through to our info@realestateinvestor.com.au address. I'll have a look into that tomorrow for you, because obviously I can't address it right now. So yeah, please feel free to send it through, and I'll have a look into why that's occurring for you. So Tiana's just asked, will it be possible to compare census data over time, income breakdown in 2011 and income breakdown in 2016? Tiana, good question. I actually don't know. The reason I don't know is that, basically the tools have just become live literally as of a couple of days ago. So I'm not sure whether moving ahead they're going to do that. It's a good suggestion. Definitely something I'll take on board, and I'll put that to our IT team, because that would definitely be good to see if they can include that. But yeah, good question. I don't know is the answer, but suggestion taken on board. So Rad, sorry, I just wanted to fly through the other questions first, just to loop back around to your other question, which was, so, can we get all the suburbs in Australia in a flyover in one view? So no, short answer. And I understand the benefit of what you're trying to achieve, and getting ahead. Realistically, you would have to produce that suburb flyover data for each suburb individually, and then go and basically correlate that information into a spreadsheet, for example, and then go, okay, great, like what are the trends in the areas? So no, specifically, you wouldn't be able to do it, across Australia in one fell swoop. So Gary's just asked, how long does it take for sales information being displayed, being current? So that information is updated as humanly possible. So obviously there's, various times on settlement processes. So this is always a question that we get asked, and my answer is always that if you think about it, from the time someone signs a contract and that piece of property may appear as sold, it's not actually, it hasn't transacted yet. So my view is that it will be update, no greater than a 7-day period. And that would be the longest time frame that it shouldn't be updated for. Once it actually physically sells and settles and goes through titles office, then that information is captured and input into the site. So yeah, I hope that answers your question specifically, Gary. Okay, guys, I'm out of questions. So if you guys have any questions, please feel free to fire them through. And yeah, I'm happy to stick around and answer any more questions you may have on tonight's presentation. Gary, you're welcome. Irene, you're welcome. David, you're welcome. Rad, no problems. Hope I addressed most of your questions satisfactorily. You had some good questions and some curveballs there for me, so I appreciate you attending. And thanks for going through it. Tiana, you're welcome as well. Ian, Lorraine, no problems at all. Guys, everything was recorded tonight too, so we'll send you out a recording of this, just FYI, so you've got it on hand. No problems, Kerry. Good to see you. Thanks for attending, mate. Good to have you along to the webinar. Jan, no problems at all. Appreciate you making the time. Thank you very much. Melinda, we had approximately 150 people attend tonight to answer your question. Adam, you're welcome. Michael, no problems at all. Aldo, you're more than welcome. Caroline, you wanted to see the deals again? Yeah, no dramas. I'll get that up on screen for you. Won't be 2 seconds. That was on screen for you, Caroline, all there. Derek, you're welcome, no problems. Bram, no problems at all. No problems. Yep, welcome, Linda. Glenn, no problems at all. No problems, Roy. See you, Gary. Thanks for attending, mate. Appreciate it. All right, guys, I'm going to shut down the webinar now. Thank you very much for attending. If you've got any more questions, please feel free to send it through to info@realestateinvestor.com.au, and we'll be happy to address them for you. Thanks for your time. My name is Logan Horsted. I appreciate you attending tonight. Thank you.